my god. Everything is loud. Let's turn this guy way down. Way down. Let's see if that works. Okay. Is the stream working? I don't know. Everything on the YouTube side is saying something went wrong all over it. Is everything working on... I can see it. I just can't see, like, chat. Uh-oh. Why is everything going wrong? More than one ingestion. What does that mean? It is working? Okay. Okay. We might have a stream then, maybe. It's working. Hello. Okay, everything's kind of loading. Music, too loud this time, too low, somewhere in the middle. Conkus! Hey, buddy. How are you doing? Guys, if you haven't met Conkus in real life, boom. This is him. Literally, this is him. What is wrong? On the YouTube Studio side of things, every single error message I could be getting, I'm getting. But if the stream is working, hey. I'll take it. I'll take it. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. We're back. This is the most consistent we've been in over a year. Over a year. When was the last one? Like 2 weeks ago? So we took like a week off. Came back. I think this is going pretty good. This is going pretty good. Let's catch up a little bit, and then we'll dive into the thing everyone's really here for. How do we world build? Everyone has their own methods, but how do I do it? There is no method. Oh man. Let's see here. We got Mantic. Hey, buddy. Ginger Steve. Yasmin. Knucklebone of Fickle Fortune. Conkus. Dinky. It's Tuesday for you. You know how many things you could have warned us about? Being from the future and all. Oh, man. Look, let's talk a little bit about catching up, right? This past weekend, 2 movies came out. One movie that got great reviews that nobody went to go see. And one movie that got terrible reviews that a lot of people went to go see. Those 2 movies, Scary Movie and Masters of the Universe. Let's talk about it a little bit. I haven't seen Scary Movie. I've seen just about everything from Masters of the Universe. I just haven't seen end credits, which are a thing. Say after the credits. How's the YouTube horror movies going over there? Still really good. Backrooms dropped off. Obsession still #1 for us at our theater. Backrooms dropped off, but still busy, you know. But it did have to split some of that weekend with Scary Movie 6, which did get a lot for my location. But Obsession was still #1. Friday, Scary Movie and Obsession were neck and neck. Saturday, Obsession was like the clear winner. Very clear winner. But yeah, YouTube horror is doing good. Man, I didn't even make the bed before streaming. I literally got up from a nap maybe 30 minutes before. My cats woke me up early. But yeah, it's been fun. Got to do that. Got to work on some show times today. Movies I can speak about, movies I can't. It's fun. I really enjoy it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited for this weekend. This weekend is Disclosure Day, new Steven Spielberg movie. I don't know that it's going to do very well. I hope it does. But I just don't know. I don't know. One of the places I was working at before this one, I was asking some of the staff, the Disclosure Day trailer had just dropped. I was like, hey guys, Steven Spielberg, is he still a name? Like, do you guys know who Steven Spielberg is? Majority of people thought he was the director of Star Wars. So that hurt. Majority of them had not seen movies like Indiana Jones, Schindler's List, Color Purple. They knew Ready Player One. You've heard nothing about it. That's what I was afraid of. I don't know that many people are gonna come out for Disclosure Day. Unfortunately. What else? What else happened? I guess the other major update from this past week is I finally, begrudgingly, upgraded my phone, so I no longer have a home button. I've got a phone with a no home button now. A 17E. It makes me sad. I keep going to press the home button, or when I have to like unlock something, I keep going to put my like thumb down for the fingerprint. I don't love it. I like how much better in other ways this phone is, but I like buttons. I don't like the removal of the button. I was already hesitant with my last phone because it removed the headphone jack. But this phone should last me another decade, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Let's talk about world building a little bit. Let's get into this. So, we had a stream 2 weeks ago. We kind of just caught up. We talked a lot about DC20, the state of DC20. We read a little bit into, just loosely, very, very loosely, broad strokes. Some of the rules, how spell casting works, and also just how the game is progressing. The status of the game, how fast it's being made, how slow. It depends who you ask, right? And there was serious thought by the end of it. I thought it would have, before I started that stream, I thought I would have a clear answer of, does my table stick with DC20, or do we time out, play something else for a little while, and come back to DC20 once it's in a more consistent state, right? So ultimately, what we decided to do was we are going to stick with DC20, but my players don't feel like going through the process of updating their character sheets again. So we are still going to be playing on 9.5. So we're not playing 10 yet. We are going to be playing on 9.5. Maybe when we level up again, maybe at that point we will switch to version 10, but we just don't feel like updating all of the character sheets again, getting refreshers on the rules and how does this work again, what do we do for this. So that's what we're doing. So what does that mean for us? What does that mean for here? What's going on with the channel? What's going on with this freaking autofocus? Is there not enough light? Do I need to remove the hat? Hold up. Let's add more light. Boom. Hopefully this is better. Okay. Despite not playing in current versions of DC20, I still want to plan for DC20 games. Whether that be home games, whether that be live actual plays, maybe that's a bi-weekly stream, it's still up in the air. But holy crap, this autofocus. Come on, come back to me. We might have to just set this on manual. Let's try that. We're gonna remove autofocus. We're gonna go to boom, manual focus. Stay right there. Boom. Much better. Yeah, I missed the button too. Hate the Face ID to unlock the phone. Much prefer the thumbprint. Agreed. Very much agreed. But there's a lot of things that I've been reading lately, and it's just been inspiring. I love world building, and I'm thinking I'm kind of ready to make a new world. I've been playing in the one that I'm currently in for, oh man, 7 or 8 years now. And let's try something new. I want to set up a new lore. I want to set up new rules for the world itself, new societies, religions, character classes, species, all of that. So we're going to be doing kind of a hodgepodge of a few different things today. Today is mainly going to be brainstorming what is this world taking inspiration from, and then we're going to start laying out a little bit of structure for how we're going to go about mapping out this thing. Not physically mapping it out, not yet, but soon. One of the things that I got recently that has inspired this stream in particular, an atlas of Tolkien. This book is awesome. Got it at Box Lunch, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's an atlas of just all things Tolkien. It goes through the different ages. It's got things like timelines in it, so you can go through, the first age, the second age, the battle for the Silmarils, the chronology of kingdoms of Middle Earth. You got things about the islands, certain battles, the Thousand Caves, the journeys of the elves from their awakening to the end of the First Age. You can see the cosmology about how everything works. This thing is just awesome. And there it is. There's the trees. My goodness. This is a wonderful bulk book. You're a big Tolkien nerd. This one's pretty great. This one's pretty awesome. So this is going to be a huge inspiration for how I want to kind of lay it out. So we're going to kind of build an atlas. Kind of. Other things that we're going to be taking some inspiration from. These might have to be later streams, but roll tables. It's like instant towns and cities. Legendary locations. By the way, these books, incredible. I have every single one that's been published so far. They're awesome. We're also going to take into consideration some of the things from 5.5 edition. I almost called it the 2024 5th edition, but now it's officially called the 5.5 edition. Wow. This isn't even the right book. It's supposed to be the Dungeon Master's Guide. But anyways, we can just not rip that from the internet. So yeah, what do we want to take inspiration from? That's kind of got to be our first question. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I would love to hear what you guys do for world building when you're starting a world, a new campaign setting, or maybe even like just a one-shot location. What do you guys do? How do you guys go about navigating that? And while you guys are maybe thinking that up, maybe not, I'm gonna open up a Google Doc. We're just gonna make us a fresh doc. T-Dog is here. What's up, dude? I've seen those books, wanted to get. I can't recommend them enough. They're insanely good. They're really, really good. They're good for on-the-fly things as well, but they're also just great because, let's say you need inspiration for a setting. That's honestly how roll tables are kind of supposed to be used anyways. Just roll, get some inspiration. Go, oh, here's something called Ooze Island. What could I do with Ooze Island? And then take it from there. I love it. Let's go based off of World of Warcraft. I think that's just DC 20 as a whole. I've always wanted to homebrew a planet that is tidally locked with its sun, so there is no day/night cycle. Your time of day depends on where you live. Google eyeball planet. That sounds freaky. Eyeball planet. What the heck is that? That is weird. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh my goodness. Let's go into studio mode and get this thing set up. Actually, let's just see, because I don't even see where studio mode went. Ah, here we go. Yeah, of course, I don't have it set up. Let's click on this. Let's tell it to capture this. And tell it okay. Kind of hurts that this has to be done on the ultra wide monitor. I love having an ultra wide monitor. It's not great for streaming though. So we're just gonna have everything look a little distorted, but that's okay. Let's go to it. So this is Eyeball Planet. Kind of wild. Interesting idea. Alrighty. Here's an idea I've been wanting to use for a long while now. A world where magic has a waste byproduct and all nations decide to put that waste on a remote island where criminals are also sent. Part of that idea, maybe the party are from that island. Oh, that's interesting. That kind of reminds me of, what is it called? They're doing it in DC right now. Salvation. It reminds me of the Salvation storyline with DC. Not quite the same, but you know, a little bit. We're gonna call this Swordplay and and Sorcery New World. Boom. We don't have a name for the world yet, but this is just going to be kind of a little bit of an idea. Let's just make this a little title. World Atlas. Whoa. All right, so let me actually open up this atlas and let's get some ideas on how they lay it out. So they have a preface that has a map of the world, again referring to this Tolkien book, the Atlas of Tolkien. Chapter 1 is the creation of the world. Chapter 2 talks about a specific area. Chapter 3 talks about Middle Earth. Chapter 4, kingdoms in the First Age. Chapter 5, the Númenórean Empire in the Second Age. Chapter 6, the Dunedain kingdoms in the Third Age. Chapter 7, the Fourth Age. So this book is broken up by ages, which is interesting. But yeah, let's go ahead and just kind of like make some little headlines, make some little headings, and we'll kind of go from there. So we'll make the first one the creation story. I think it's always fun to start with the creation. Oh man, just got a Super Nintendo and been playing Ghouls and Ghosts. It has been inspiring my monster builds. Ghouls and Ghosts, okay, that sounds cool. Just a quick hi. I'm excited for whatever it is. You're a part of it. If you're a part of it, I'll try to be back before the stream is over if I can. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah, we're just trying to figure out how we want to build a new world. You know what? Actually, before we even do a creation story, here's what we honestly have to do. Inspirations. We need to make inspirations. What exactly is inspiring this world? That's gonna shape everything, right? So, can you do a drop down in Google Docs now? I feel like you can. We don't need to, but like it'd help. Inspirations. So what exactly is inspiring my world? What do I like? What do I not like? What do I want to shape everything? Is currently my question. So let's create a little subheading. Options. Oh, interesting. You can do subtitles. It's been a while since I've used Google Docs. I've been using Word so much that I kind of forgot how all of this worked. I do think Google Docs is better though. Yeah, we'll probably need to start this as like a bullet list, and then we can kind of go from there. You can do a drop down. I can do a drop down. Checklist. I can't remember how to do it. I'm gonna do a bullet point for now. I do like DC, so we're probably gonna take some inspiration from DC Comics. Ew, why is this defaulting to .12? I mean .11. .12 all the way. Yeah, DC Comics. That's got to be one. What specifically do I like about DC Comics that I would like to take inspiration from? The first thing I would like to take inspiration from, if we're going to take inspiration from DC Comics, is honestly everything to do with the Green Lantern lore. Oh my goodness, you guys can hardly see any of this. Boom, is that a little better? Let's see if we can fix this, because this looks silly. This looks silly. Here, let's see if we can fix this a little bit. Let's center it. Boom. Yeah, then we'll clean this up just a tiny bit. Boop. And boop. Right there. Yeah, DC Comics, everything to do with Green Lantern lore. Yeah. Or I might be thinking of the drop down in Google Sheets. I know you can do it in Google Sheets. I use that one. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, based it on 5 Gum. 5 Gum. Oh, Noah. What are you doing here? Base it on 5 Gum. How it feels to chew 5 Gum. Also, what genre are you going for? High or low fantasy, dystopian, high or low tech? Those are all great questions I don't know the answer to yet. I think what I would like to do with this particular world, if we're going to take some DC inspiration, right? It's very easy to make everything in the world feel like magic is common. People with magic are common. Potions, items, they're just kind of around everywhere. So I would like to make it so that like it's almost an anomaly that somebody has magic. How does the world react to that? And then how do the players react and feel to the world, and how they handle magic users? So I think I'd like a little bit of that. I would like for our heroes to feel heroic, since DC20 is supposed to be like a heroic fantasy, right? You're supposed to be the good guys. You're supposed to be the heroes of the story. You're supposed to save people, have epic battles. But if everyone has that and it's just kind of common, just willy-nilly, I mean, it's not super special, right? So let's do that. Let's make it let's do low magic. So I mean, I don't think that falls under DC necessarily, but let's just say how about magic users are rare. So let's go with that. Magic users are rare. Add a period after that one too. X-Men? I guess there's a little bit of X-Men to it. A little bit of like, hey, they have powers, we don't. How do we feel about that? Do we know that they're going to use their powers for good? I don't know. So there could be a little bit of some X-Men in there. X-Men, in my opinion, can either be insanely great or incredibly obnoxious. X-Men 97 is a great example of it's great. What's the level of technology in the world? Oh man, that's the question, right? I don't know that it would be like Eberron, because you know Eberron is almost like it's full on steampunk. But I think there should be, I think it should be a balance between not quite no tech, not quite high tech, somewhere in the middle. Like tech is there, artificers, like you know they are a trade. Eventually we'll find a way to insert magical like artificers and everything, but I think the world should be somewhere in the middle. Like they are entering a new age of technology essentially. And maybe let's also do that. Let's make this world not old. This is a newer world. And when I say newer, I don't mean like fresh, like 5-10 years, something like that. I mean like, I don't want to have to burden myself or the players with like, there's thousands of years of crazy lore and implications and deities constantly getting swapped out and pantheons and blah, blah, blah. I want to make it so that this world is maybe a couple hundred, maybe years old. But it's progressing so insanely fast. So magic users are rare. This is a newer world. The current timeline is entering a new age of technological advancements. Whoops. So let's elaborate on that. We could say not quite steampunk, but not quite low tech either. So maybe technology is more like maybe technology is kind of limited at the moment to like you're specifically like in a capital or you're in like a kingdom. I don't know, probably more so like a capital, where funding can happen for those sorts of things. And I don't know. We can play with it. What makes this world unique? What makes this world unique? This world is unique because let's make that a question. What makes this world unique? Let's take some inspiration from DC for a second. This world was not formed naturally. So let's say this world was. Oh, Lord have mercy. This world was not formed naturally. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. It sounds cool. Maybe the world is in an observation bubble. Maybe robots. Maybe the universe is filled with more robotic life forms than organic life forms. This is, I'm just spitballing. This is The robot's first successful attempt at creating organic life. What are the implications for these robots? Do they wish to share in what makes organic life special? Or is it merely, or is it for studying? At which point, when they are finished, they will destroy and move on. I don't know. It's just spitballing. This is fresh off the dome. Are you thinking of the general populace that doesn't have the magic, fearing and shunning those who do? I think a little bit. I think if it's like naturally occur, like if we're taking an X-Men approach, right? I think there'd be I think there'd be some similarities. Like, should we trust, like, you know, an X-Men? Like, do we trust mutants? Do we not trust mutants? Do all mutants have good intentions? You could also compare it to like the opening of last year's like Superman movie. Like, superheroes, they exist, but like this is the first time that like a truly powerful super being has entered the world, at least in that DC world, right? So maybe like magic users have existed. Maybe there have been a few good scenarios. Maybe there have been some bad scenarios. But our party is the first party that's like, this is the most powerful magic people have seen. So when they do have those encounters that the population sees or people who survive battles see, they quickly start becoming like legends. It's actually a Death Star. Robot gods. I like it. Okay, so do we like the robot gods approach? Like, are these giant robots? Are these like our world is a golf ball compared to them? Or is this more like like they're the size of like your standard human being, but they grew the planet and it became a planet size? Or is it more like a Brainiac situation where they have shrinking technology and they can shrink landscapes and parts of planets, and now they've shrunk a full planet? Based on a book, magic users are rare, but those who can do it are all tyrants without exception. Something makes magic users evil, as it were. Interesting. Interesting. That's a fun idea. Yeah, how do you live in a fantasy world where everyone hates you because you can do magical things that others can't? You almost have to be a hero, right? I mean, I guess you never know the players, right? The players could take it into a direction where they use it as a reason to do villain stories. Obviously, that's like session zero talk. Like, you talk to the players beforehand, say like, hey, this is a heroic story. The odds are against you, but what makes heroic stories great are you overcome obstacles. I started late. Man. I need to get rid of that sneak peek button. That sneak peek button is almost 2 years old now. Chains of Laventria? That's last year's news. If that. Something like that. But yeah, we're currently building a world. We're taking some inspiration. At the moment, it's currently a world formed in some kind of lab experiment by robots. Robots are the universe for some reason. Why it's robotic life before organic life, I don't know. Does it have to make sense? Not entirely. It's magic. It's fantasy. It can be whatever we want it to be. As long as the internal rules of the world and story make sense, it could be anything. Man, had to pull a face cam zoom in on me. I did. Maybe the people of the world don't know the gods are robots. Also, maybe magic is people learning to controlling / editing the code of the Matrix. Oh, that's an interesting, trippy idea. Hold on. So now it's a Matrix story? So it's a world where it's not necessarily magic, but it's a code? Or is magic like a new force in the universe that was accidentally created in the race to create life? And the robots don't have a way to harness it. So they're even more inclined to keep this particular world alive because they need to see if there's any kind of clue from the people that live in this world of how to harness, obtain, use this magic. So the inverse AI situation, instead of organics building AI in a sandbox, AI robots build organics in a sandbox. I think so. I kind of like that idea. So let's, maybe the arcane was an accident of the creation, an accident from the creation of this world. The robots want it, but cannot harvest it. This is the only reason this world has lasted as long as it has, where other worlds were quickly eliminated. It sounds like we've created some kind of hybrid of the Borg, Brainiac, and Galactus. It sounds like those three things are kind of this robot pantheon. I mean, obviously, if you're living in the world, you're gonna think something. You're not gonna think, oh, robots. There's no concept of a robot probably yet, right? It's just more like, oh, there are gods, or there is a god. But nobody knows, like, no, it's actually, we're just unfortunately that world that just came from robots. That also gives us a little bit of a cop-out for pantheons and everything. It does make some interesting things for some certain classes, though, that are more deity-focused. So that's kind of interesting. Magic is just learning the code. That's a good way to phrase it. Magic is just learning the code of natural life, something like that. What if the world is ancient steampunk, but there's a thick layer of bio on the rest of the planet top? Robots have largely failed across the planet. Heroes are helping to revive an ancient dead god. That's an interesting idea. But don't realize the ancient robot gods were evil tyrants and were defeated by long-gone ancestors. The arcane could be something the robots were experimenting on, but it's how the bios were able to overthrow them. That almost sounds like that would be like the future of this world. So like, we build the world, we put the players on a campaign course for where they defeat these robots who are studying them. Their world is essentially freed, but now they have to work with everyone on the planet to essentially keep the world alive, keep it running. Not just a robot will sometimes interject something to for the sake of like the scientific process, right? And then like in the future, if there was like another campaign like in the distant future, it's almost like this is honestly kind of going back to X-Men a little bit, right? It's like Days of Future Past a little bit. Maybe the players are from that future and they're having to go back to a time when magic users aren't all that. The robots have successfully harnessed magic. They are actively destroying the world. They have to go back in time. Save it sounds like Days of Future Past a little bit. Futures Past? The robots need organics to harvest or figure out the magic. 10 out of 10. Like the robots can't use or produce the arcane and are trying to harness its power. So they created this planet to figure out how to do that, but long ago, the bios secretly learned how to use the arcane. Interesting. Let's add some more. The Borg, Brainiac, Galactus, the Matrix. Some Terminator vibe in the going to the past. I like it. I admittedly have never seen a Terminator movie. Nope, I lied. The Christian Bale one is the only one I've seen. And then like a little bit of, what was it, Genesis I've seen. I haven't seen T1. I haven't seen T2. I feel like I've seen a majority of it. I've just never actually like sat down, watched it. That's a crime. I was wondering if you were still in here. Yeah, I've never actually sat down and watched the Terminator movies. I can just see it. Session 5, players use magic in front of a hidden robotic outpost. A drone with full machine gun rises up. Brr. I kind of like that. Uh-oh. Yeah, the movie guy has not seen T1 or T2. But I've seen the Christian Bale one. Salvation, is that the one? There was an arcade game for the longest time at Dad's Theater that was based off that particular movie. So I played that a lot there. I think I've played the arcade game more than I've actually seen or watched Terminator things. Terminator is now at a point... Here, let's just go to the chat screen. Let's talk about this. I just realized our chat isn't even popping up on the screen for you guys. Sad. So you've seen the bad ones. Maybe. But no, I'm almost afraid to watch Terminator now because I'm like, the idea that I have in my head of what Terminator is, it's probably not that. Because I'm imagining, like, I know they have to do a little bit with like time travel. They have to kill, is it John Connor? John Carter? No, that's the Mars guy. John Connor, I think. The boy. They have to kill the boy in order to win the robot apocalypse or something. But there's a part of me that would just like to see a full movie of just the robot apocalypse and not just a robot is kind of it's hunting down, and then maybe in another movie is a protector, and then there's another version of a Terminator that's there. Basically the Terminators that are like the skulls and everything. I would like to see a whole movie of that and my gut is saying that is not at all Terminator, maybe I would still love it. Maybe. I don't know. You might not get the campy fun this far out from when they first released. Maybe. I don't know. I love camp. I love camp. I love camp. So maybe. I mean, if they're campy, I like campy. But yeah, I know. I haven't seen Terminator. Yeah, let me actually look up just a photo of a Terminator, just to further shame myself. Yeah, when I think of Terminator, I don't think. I mean, if I saw the movies, I would probably think Arnold, but I seriously think of the robots first, not not the Arnold robot. You want the Zack Snyder Man of Steel intro, but Terminator. The Zack Snyder Man of Steel intro, but Terminator. Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Liam! What's up, dude? Welcome back. Thank you. Glenn is here. Howdy. We're currently talking about how I've never seen Terminator. T1 or T2. Alright. While we're also talking about this, let's figure out what's going on with our chat. Here with Brownie, my new puppy. Aww. Give that puppy a little pat for me. Seeing how jacked Linda Hamilton got in T2 is awesome. I believe it. However, somehow prevent or limit robotic influence, so their presence is limited. That's a fun idea. They want to harness it, but something about everything is making it so that they can't. I'm trying to log into this chat thing, and YouTube is being... Oh my god, YouTube is great. I love YouTube. It's doing a thing where it says pick the account, and I go to click the account, and then it refreshes and picks the not account that I want. Swordplay and Sorcery. Continue. It did it again. I'm gonna crash out. Okay, boom. We're in chatbot. Okay, the chatbot is supposed to be on. I might have to refresh it. Refresh. Okay, now let's do a little test. This is a test. Oh, man. Oh, well. I don't know that the chat is going to work today. Unfortunately. The chat overlay is being funky. Okay, let's copy it. Let's do this. The sound is gone. What do you mean? Uh-oh. What? Can you hear it now? Muted how? What? You hear it. Sound is good. Where did it go? Nothing was muted. How did it mute? Still no sound. It blipped for just a second a while ago. What? Refresh if you can't hear. Testing sound. Sound. All good now? That's better. I was at the theater 3 times this week. Mortal Kombat, Amazing Digital Circus, and, and Mandalorian and Grogu. Mandalorian and Grogu. We lost Mandalorian and Grogu at our theater. It did not well. We had it for 2 weeks, and then we dropped it. My theater did not get Amazing Digital Circus. I don't know that it would have done well at my theater, but I heard it did very well at a lot of other theaters in our chain. Yet another example of YouTube at the box office doing pretty good. Pretty good. Mortal Kombat 2 was better than I would have thought. That's how I feel about He-Man. Or, sorry, Masters of the Universe. Yeah, Mandalorian Grogu. It's fine. It's just fine. Amazing Digital Circus. I've seen all the episodes except for the finale, so. Oh well. And then Mortal Kombat is fun. It's a fun movie. It's dumb. It's what I thought the 2022, 23, whenever that one came out. It's what I thought that movie was going to be. So, interesting. I've heard nothing but great things about Sheep Detectives, and I want to see Sheep Detectives. I've heard it's almost like a Paddington 2 situation, where it's just peak cinema. I remember first seeing the trailer for that one, and I was kind of in disbelief. I was like, this is not a real movie. This can't be. This has got to be like actors phoning it in for a paycheck. And it turns out everyone's like, hey, no, it's actually incredible. I need to see it. The movie, I was really not sure going in, but it was good. The movie I'm the most excited to see this year, I mean, I'm a DC fan through and through. It's Clayface. I'm very, very excited to see Clayface. Supergirl. I love the comic. I love Woman of Tomorrow. That comic is great. Supergirl is an awesome character. Just the trailers I've seen for Woman of Tomorrow just haven't looked great. I haven't loved them. So we'll see how it does. Clayface, I'm very much looking forward to. That looks interesting. Yeah, I feel like there's a movie that's like flashing that I'm forgetting about. But I mean, this has been such a good year for movies, it's hard to pick one. I'm a diehard Spielberg fan, so Disclosure Day I'm looking forward to. I don't think it's going to do well, though. I don't know. I would like to think it'll do well, but the trailers have all been the same. I don't hear people talking about the movie. No one at my theater is really interested or showing interest in the movie. Doomsday I'm curious about. I'm curious. Oh, controversial, but I am excited for the Odyssey. I didn't think that would be controversial, but it's proving to be a little bit. Some people very much are looking forward to it, and then others think the movie looks really bad. I don't think it looks really bad, but I can see where people are coming from. You get a very specific impression of the Odyssey when you read it, or even watch some of the older versions, and then you watch this trailer and it's like, doesn't look very fantastical, mythological, that kind of thing. Excuse me. Lobo! I am excited for Lobo. I don't love Lobo, but I like him. TV shows, I think I'm more excited for TV a little bit this year. Very excited for movies, but TV. I was excited for Lanterns. The first teaser came out and I hated it. I did not like it. I thought it was a very, very, very bad teaser. And then they came out with the second one and I was like, that was awesome. Why wasn't that the first one? That should have been the first one. There was also a lot of people who were like, oh, the first one was to cater to the HBO audience, to show that, hey, this is prestige TV. Then the second one is for the comic book fans. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. You didn't see prestige trailers for Peacemaker, Righteous Gemstones, other things like that. Watchmen. But they make that an exception for Lanterns? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think they just made a really, really poor choice showing that first Lanterns trailer. And now the second one's even better, and now I'm excited for the show again. Gonna be closer to Tenet than Inception, probably. Oh. Tenet. I don't like Tenet. I actually kind of hate Tenet. I like the making of Tenet. I like the complications of Tenet. Tenet is not a fun movie to watch. I think Tenet's a really frustrating movie to watch in all the worst ways. Arcane is like electricity, but from anti-electrons. Super dangerous for robots, but if they harness it, that's unlimited power. Maybe had a power crisis, and this planet was their last hope to not die out. Ooh. Hold on. That's an interesting take. Let's jot that down. Okay. So arcane energy is dangerous for robots, but if they can learn to somehow harness it, that's unlimited power. Some kind of power crisis, and this planet is their only hope to not die out. Unlimited power. Tenet is work. I think the Odyssey looks all right, though it won't be as good as Epic the Musical. Epic the Musical. Epic, I'm curious about. We'll see. We'll see. Wife and I love Epic the Musical. Epic's pretty good. It's pretty good. Also changes some things in the story, but it's good. I'm more excited that it's a project that Mr. Jerry Bruckheimer is behind more than anything. The fact that he's backing this is like, whoa, okay. This movie means business. He's just good at what he does. I got so many shows to catch up. Me and my dad have been binging The Blacklist, so I'll get back to other shows once that's done. I've been watching Dexter for the first time. We just finished season 4, and now we're doing season 5. Oh. There you go. Rewatching Mad Men periodically, so I'm just kind of going through the episodes again. I finished season 1 of True Detective. I'm looking forward to Lanterns, My Adventures with Superman, season 3, House of the Dragon, My Adventures with Green Lantern, I believe premieres later this year, I think. Also excited for that one. I'm curious about Harry Potter. I don't know that I'm gonna love it, but I'm curious about it. I'm at least gonna check it out. I wasn't loving what I was seeing with the Percy Jackson TV show, but I still checked it out. I'm glad I checked out eventually, but because that show is dog water. The Percy Jackson. Ooh. Almost pressed the stream ending screen. The Percy Jackson show is a great example to shove in people's faces of, oh, the original creator is involved, or oh, the original writer is involved, so it's gonna be good. No. Somehow, getting the original creator of the Percy Jackson property involved made it worse than the live action movie. That's my hill. Jump scare. I'm curious about Epic the Musical. Yeah. That could make a good BBEG / actually not BBEG end boss. Yes, I think so. I think ultimately I would like for them to be evil. I am a big fan of good versus evil stories. I love those. I'm drawn to those. They're timeless. But I do like the idea that there's an element to this where it's like, oh, you kind of feel for the robots, but also they are doing horrible things. So maybe for a moment you're like, oh man, yeah, they're kind of dying out. That sucks. Oh, they've been doing this for years? Oh my god. So I think we kind of have our creation story for this new campaign setting a little bit. So there's a universe of some kind of robotic species. We don't know what the rest of the universe holds. We just know that there's robots. And these robots, in an attempt to save their cybernetic life, have started creating worlds. They get what they need out of the worlds and then kind of leave them to die. But one world proves fruitful. They learn from it. And not only learn from it, they learn that there is some kind of life force or energon, on this world that can save them. So they're keeping this world alive, at least until they can learn how to harness this power. I like this. I like where we're going with this. I like this idea. This is good. We could work with this. I agree. I'm a massive fan of the books, and the show hurt. Rick came off like someone who hated his past work and wanted to use the show to rewrite it. Yes. It felt like he hated his work and hated fans of the work. Exactly what you said. It felt like he wanted to just rewrite Percy Jackson. Which was like, okay. Whatever, I suppose. I like a true evil bad guy, but has a logical reason to be evil, and not just evil for the sake of being evil. I like evil for the sake of being evil. I like the sympathetic bad guy and everything, but sometimes it's just great just having a villain that's just evil. Like, that's his sole purpose in life. There's no redeeming qualities about him or her. They're just an evil being or evil person. From NPC, someone from the other world who knows part of the secret. Ooh. Oh, they can be evil for the sake of evil so long as they're good at being evil. Yeah. Yeah. Not to be a DC guy, but Joker is just kind of evil for the sake of being evil. And because he finds it funny. Lex is just kind of a... He needs to be the most well-respected, smartest guy in the room. He needs to be that. And if something is in the way of that, he's not happy about it. Darkseid from DC is just evil for the sake of being evil. Like that's his whole thing. Anti-life, torture, misery, murder, slavery. Darkseid is just evil. Thanos, sympathetic-ish. You know, his world was affected, right? He feels like he can save the world. He can be sympathetic. Doctor Doom, kind of similar in Lex's kind of mindset and everything, but wants everything to be better. He just wants to be the spearhead of it. Lex is a genius and malignant narcissist. Yes. There should be the facade of redeeming features if it serves his purpose. Yes. I think that's the robots. I think the robots, they only care about self-preservation. They don't care what it costs other people, other life forms. They don't care about the cost as long as it keeps them alive, right? So yeah. Comic book Thanos is unsympathetic. MCU Thanos is very sympathetic. That's a good point. Yeah, MCU Thanos, they movie-fied him a little bit. Okay. So I think we have a really cool creation story for the world. I do want to ask the question, if the real creation story is that robots created the world, what do the people who live in the world think is the creation story? So obviously we know, writers, this is a writer's room, we know that this world is created by robots for the purpose of finding a way to contain energy to preserve their life. People of the world don't know that those details. They don't know that this world was manufactured, right? They don't know that they're essentially in an observation tank. They don't know that there's nothing past the stars they see in the sky. It's just things watching them, right? So what do the people of the world think is the creation story? What happens? So the robots create this world. There's life. How is there life? Did life, like the humans or whatever fantasy species we put in here, did they grow naturally once the world was created and came from the world? Or is it like a scientific theory sort of thing? So they create this world, they have millions of versions of different kinds of life, populate them into the world, and they've awoken. They're part of a new creation, right? Basically, robots are racist. That's funny. Give the robots human toes. Tarantino is secretly in charge. Robots with human toes. Ugh. I don't like that. I like the robot creation of the world is unknown to the people of the world. On the face of it, the world looks like a standard fantasy D&D world. The gods they worship are really robots. Might be jumping ahead, but like the idea of a sympathetic female NPC that is there to introduce doubt that the robots are bad, only to turn out to be an evil robot in disguise. Oh my gosh, a femme fatale robot? I like that. The people of the world are flat earthers. The bios are stolen from other worlds. but are told they were created by the robots. Like stolen as babies. Interesting. I live in the world, think is the creation of the Lord. Interesting. Flat Earth. Is the world flat? Do we make it flat? I'm trying to think. There's which fantasy setting is technically it takes place in a flat world? I mean, it could be. It's magical. It's fantasy. Why can't it just be flat? It would make sense for them having like an edge of the world kind of situation. Hi, DC20 fam. What's good, Kyle? What do people who live in the world think is the creation story? What is the current status of deities in the world? No, I spelled deities wrong. It's gonna correct it in a second. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. They think the world is round because that's the world they were stolen from, but it's actually flat. Wow. That's an interesting idea. Let's go ahead and add some maybes. I'm a big fan of adding maybes. Maybe the life, maybe people of the world believe they are on a round world because that is where they originally came from before being abducted. If life is abducted from other worlds, does this mean the robots salvage the best parts of the world before leaving them to die? How does the status of religion affect religious classes? Your Adam and Eve population could be kidnapped babies of various ancestors from different worlds. Yeah. They keep falling off the edge, expecting it to just be the horizon. Is this for Swordplay and Sorcery's new campaign? It could be. We'll see. I think that would depend on, us getting this finished. We have a story to tell. And then people who want to probably do live. I'd probably do it live, honestly. The world is not flat, but everyone thinks it is. It's so they don't venture out to where the robots live. And more to the point, what is the status of demigods? Yeah, that's another good question. Demigods? Bam! No. They buy the worst part of the worlds at clearance sale rates. Jeez. The ones brought here were the only ones worth keeping alive. The rest were harvested for their natural arcane as power. So are we saying that the other worlds had arcane power? Or is this the first time where it's like, hey, there is something different about this world. There's some kind of energy from it that can keep us alive, but we don't understand it, and we need to have an understanding of it. Because that's kind of where I'm leaning. I'm kind of leaning towards the other worlds were kind of experiments, trying to find some key to life and creating life. And the robot's current thinking or mindset is, if they can create life, maintain life, they can somehow use their studies from that to keep themselves alive. But with this particular world, they have somehow created a new thing. They haven't destroyed this world. Maybe they've even tried again. Maybe they created this world and they've discovered this arcane element to it. They've tried replicating it before destroying this current world, but they're unable to replicate it. So they're forced to keep this world alive and understand it. Are the robots wearing meat suits? Oh, that's scary. Yeah, I'm good with that. This is the first world to have some sort of arcane element to it. The robots wish to understand it, harvest it, and use it to keep themselves alive. In an attempt to understand how this world got it in the first place, they try to recreate the new world process. However, each new world is unable to have that arcane spark, forcing them to keep this world alive until they can understand it better. So that also adds some cool little plot points, right? Should the robots find out how the arcane works, how to harvest it, how to use it, how to sustain it, there's no need to keep this world anymore. So you go from your adventures to uncovering this massive plot about, hey, everything we know about the world isn't real, to now our world is doomed if this information gets in their hands. The people think that there is one god, which is a giant robot. They all have different robot parts and all think they have the corpse of a true god. Oh wait, hold on. People think there is one god, which is a giant robot. They all have different robot parts and all think they have the corpses of the true god. They all have different robot parts and all think they have the corpse of the true god. Okay, so in this world, the true god is dead, but it's dead to them because they all believe they have in different cultures, they have a different part of the god. Is that what they're thinking? The first world that the robots have encountered where magic exists. Exactly, yeah. And they've tried to replicate other worlds to see if they can duplicate this, but they haven't successfully figured that out. So maybe that's another thing in the background, like a ticking clock. There is a race to either figure out how it works, the arcane, or how they can duplicate it again. Either way, whichever result happens first, it comes to the same conclusion. They'll eventually destroy this world. Are the robots at the height of their power, or maybe an ancient civilization that's on the cusp of collapse? Maybe these worlds are an enormous resource cost. Their only hope, but also speeding up the downfall of the robots if they don't figure out the arcane stuff. Could have the party find abandoned robot experimentation sites where they were trying to extract arcana from humans. Red herring, disguise it as another human faction. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's answer some of those. So the robots are part of an ancient civilization that's on the cusp of collapse. Creating worlds is a giant resource cost and is potentially speeding up the downfall of their species. Maybe divine. If the robots fail, the planet dies. Maybe they have to find a way to defeat the robots while preventing the death of the planet. I could see that. Maybe divine magic is learning the code of the robot's internet. Explain that one. I'm a little lost. I like the way it sounds, though. One of the robots that is defective is truly desperate, trying to find the secret of the world, so it could use that knowledge as a bargain to not the deleted. Interesting. So essentially there's maybe like one robot who is off programming, or whose programming is off. So he doesn't function or think like the others. Is that what we're saying? That's kind of interesting. Let's see. There's a secret society that knows the secret rebels. There's a secret society that knows the secret, rebels against the robots. Twist. They are rebels, but also their leaders are also robots. Either still evil or actually good. Interesting. Okay. So I think we have a lot of good stuff for the robots. We have a pretty good creation story. We have a pretty good lore. This is pretty good Atlas stuff for introducing a game master to the campaign setting should they want to use it. I think I'm gonna start throwing this up on Patreon as like a detailed thing. So like as we build out sections, I'll like write out the first bits, pieces, and everything. It'll be shared on there. We'll work on everything on streams, but like the actual way I would like publish it would be on Patreon. Cleric players to the robot gods are tapping into their Wi-Fi of the world. Okay, that's actually the next question I wanted to get to. So like, how does this affect clerics? How does this affect paladins, warlocks? You know, the classes that traditionally draw from demons or devils or gods or demigods, angels, whatever. How does this creation story affect those classes? Are those classes still a thing? Do they have to be slightly rewritten for this campaign setting? I don't know. One of the robots that is defective is truly desperately trying to find the secret of the world. Oh, wait, I read that one. Duh. Would robots disguise themselves as constructs or warforged? I'm thinking that they kind of are those already. I don't know that those really exist or are concepts yet. They'd be more like puppets on the world. Because magic, because I mean, I guess you could like make the gears and everything to make robots. You then start getting into a little steampunky, because this is also supposed to be a setting where like magic is rare, but there's a magic presence. But where the heroes pick up the story, they are currently the most powerful beings that they know of on this world. Magic is a rare thing. People don't really see it. When they do see it, they don't know how to feel about it. They don't know how to react to it. It's just kind of the stuff of legends. And yeah, that's kind of where we're headed a little bit. Robots disguise themselves as construction equipment. So like Devastator. Like Mr. Devastator. Man, I remember being so hyped for Revenge of the Fallen, and then absolutely hating that movie. Golly, what a bad. Remember when Google Images used to actually show you the image on the center of the screen and not the freaking side of the screen? Whatever happened to that, Google? Golly. Anyways. This is a medieval world. They use dial-up. Oh, jeez. Divine magic is really hacking the world. I still like the idea of some robots in meat suits. It's the only way they know how to protect themselves from the arcane when trying to harvest or interact with it. Okay, so let's address another quick robot thing. Are the robots the same size as like a humanoid and they've created a planet? Are the robots the giant size of like a Galactus and they've created essentially a golf ball that they study? Or is this a Brainiac situation where they're the size of humanoids who have created a golf ball, but they can still go on planets and stuff, but the world that the players are on is actually shrunk? Which robot version is this? That's the part we got to figure out. These are Galactus-sized robots that created a world, humanoid-sized robots that created a world, or humanoid-sized robots who created a miniature world that could have the potential to expand to be the size of a real world? Freaking Decepticons. Robots are AI. They can be any size, look like anything. All sizes, they're robots. Oh my god. You know what? Let's go ahead and add some of it. Inspiration. Transformers. Robots come from a Cybertron-like being who is their ruler. They have the ability to function as a hive mind, but on rare occasions can go against their programming. DC Comics Green Lantern lore, we'll expand on that a little bit. The Manhunters. Instead of hunting down lanterns, they hunt down arcane users. All robots are dragons. That's kind of a funny idea. I like that. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. Cybertron like leader is a robot planet who transforms into a dragon. Think Bakugan type stuff. Oh man. What about magic is in the source code of the robots? Different coding languages are actually tapping into the languages of their deities. Python is a warlock code, Java is a cleric, etc. What? That's a fun idea. Human size could be aspects of the giant size, just like classic D&D gods who have aspects PCs fight. Warlocks invoke chronism, arcane or hackers, mana is energon. These robots sound like mind flayers. Oh my god, they're robot mind flayers. Yeah, they're basically robot mind flayers. So they're Borg. They're essentially Borg. Borg, but mind flayer. Yeah, I can't unsee it now. They are kind of like mind flayers. Maybe that's how we design the robots. There aren't necessarily mind flayers in this setting, but there are robots who have some characteristics of mind flayers. You need a Mecha Godzilla. Dude, Mecha Godzilla's dope. Mecha Godzilla's great. Yeah. I really liked Mecha Godzilla in whatever that most recent live action was. It Godzilla vs. Kong? Sucked that the toys spoiled it, but whatever. So cool, so cool. Mecha mind flayers. It always comes back to the Borg flayers. So, how does this affect classes? Do I make this setting as system agnostic as possible? Or do I design this with the intention of it's DC 20, but other versions of the rules, races, classes, and everything will be made? So like it's mainly DC 20, but if you must play 5th edition, here's your 5th edition counterpart. Do we treat it kind of like that? Maybe they live on a clockwork dragon. How big are clockwork dragons in D&D? Oh, I did not paint my miniature like this at all. Oh, that's a way better paint job than the way I painted it. What? It makes me hate the way I did mine. Golly. DC 20 exclusively. Robot mind flayers assimilate arcana in bioflesh. The stronger your magic, the bigger the target. Ooh. It seems pretty agnostic to me. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty agnostic right now. Eventually, I do have to figure out, like, okay, I play this in DC 20 with my players. Some classes are going to have some interesting questions. Right? This is interesting. I'm liking this. So now I have to figure out what is the current status of deities in the world, but also what is the real creation story that people of the world think. So obviously they don't know that there's robots. we did play around with the idea that the start of life on the planet was abducted from other worlds, or maybe maybe they're cryo-freezed. Maybe hold on, work with me here. The first beings of the world woke up in pods scattered across the world. There is a belief that they come from the stars, and the ultimate goal of one's life is to return to the stars with their maker. So maybe this is where a little bit of Star Trek inspiration comes in. Maybe life from other planets is stored in pods, kind of like, you know, Khan's crewmates. But maybe because these species are taken from different worlds, kind of similar to Spock, they are launched into a planet, life grows, life is reborn, boom. Life starts on planets from the pods. Think search for Spock for reference. Designed for system agnostic, but provide a DC-20 and D&D stat book. Think Midgard. P.S. You can always have a stretch goal for the clever, cool, crazy stat book. Ayy. I think that'd have to be number 1, right? You have to go that one first, then DC-20, then 5e. Cleric power, law of the code. Anyone can tap into it if they have the connection. Warlock power, law of the deviant. Wizards, learn the natural code. Sorcerers, born with an aberration in their flesh. Robots in disguise. Maybe they're all robots, just some think they're flesh. Oh my god, are we putting some freaking Blade Runner into this? Pods, maybe they believe they're a form of vegetable. Live long and prosper. This is all a ruse to get my players to secretly switch to Star Trek Adventures 2nd edition. Oh, animals on this world would be crazy different. They literally come from different planets. Yeah. Paladins and clerics could easily be explained by having a connection to the old ones or gods from their original worlds. But then the question is, like, how are there gods from the original worlds, right? Are there actually gods? Let's change this question to in the world / universe. Are there gods? If you want an easy agnostic approach. Yeah. I knew I spelled deities wrong. It's D-E-I. There we go. Let's see. Green Lanterns are essentially paladins, right? You take an oath. You get the ring, you take the oath, you protect your sector. are paladins the only ones that officially know the truth, and everyone else thinks that paladins are crazy? So do paladins get like off rip the confirmed knowledge or belief that like, hey, we are an order that knows the truth. We're going to expose the truth, whatever means necessary, despite the world not believing us or wanting anything to do with us because we have powers. They're all seeking out the hidden robots among them, but it secretly turns out that they are all robots. Blade Runner. Robots pretending to be gods. Some of them maybe go off programming, or maybe some of them designed to give the illusion of gods. Maybe, let's add another maybe to the what makes the world unique. Maybe there are gods in the universe but lost a battle to these robots. The gods' powers come from belief. The more the robots eliminated the source of belief, worlds, peoples, etc., the weaker the gods became. Maybe something like that. Maybe there is a pantheon that does exist, but no one would have any clue because the robots overthrew them. There aren't enough believers for them to give natural powers across the universe. Maybe the gods, despite their differences, worked together to focus all of their divine power. Despite their differences, worked together to focus all of their divine power into this one world. And that is why it's different than the others. As a way to observe and nurture the power on the world, a few of them physically stay on the world, powerless, and aging. With the goal of one day restoring power to the gods and overthrowing the cyber overlords. Hey, what do we think? What do we think? Are we cooking? Is it dumb? What do we... How are we feeling about it? Green Lanterns are essentially U.S. Marshals from the Old West. Sometimes. A simple dissection could reveal the truth if they were all robots. True. Divine magic is the technology of robots. It's just indistinguishable from magic. I like the idea of the robots defeated the gods. Maybe the ultimate twist is that the robots were once originally bios. Maybe some of them wish to be bios again. Ones in meat suits? Frankenstein? Oh, that's dark. Maybe one of them. Maybe one of them is like that, right? one of them like is off program. I think that's what we call the ones who deviate, are kind of like out there, the abnormal ones. The ones that are off program are the ones that are like, hey, you got to pay extra attention to this one. This one could mess things up or be your best ally. I do like the idea that the robots have been the death knell of the gods. Maybe the robots are the giants of Ragnarok. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Gods or robots from other factions have different goals than those who created the world. They feel a bit starry. I'm drawing a blank. Ah! I should have known. Literally have the book that talks about that. And the Silmarillion in the other room. I'm kind of liking this creation story of the world. I'm kind of liking this. Hello, Aiden. What's up, dude? We're currently world building. Various BBEG or bosses could be robots off program, and that gives hints to the players each time one is defeated. Exactly, yes. You could even start applying the Moriarty template to that. I love doing that. I don't know if anyone's kind of coined that term. I use Moriarty as a template for a lot of my bad guys, especially BBEGs, which essentially is just like not all big bosses are tied to the ultimate BBEG, but there's a lot of them if you are able to connect the pieces. Yeah, of course. Like the Red-Headed League. It all leads to Moriarty. Warhammer 40k. Warhammer 40k, a little bit. Man. I'm gonna go to the chatting screen for a second. There's a lot of cool brainstorming happening. I'm a big fan. Big fan. I think this is a lot to work with. I think this is a great start. I was listening and heard Eldari. I'm liking this. I think this is a fun campaign setup. I think this would be fun to stream. This would be fun to tell stories in, see how the players react. Because let's not forget, we started the stream with the intention of like, hey, this is kind of based off the idea of being a hero, a borderline superhero in a world where magic isn't really a thing for a lot of people or a lot of items. So this is a hero's campaign, like a big hero's journey. Which Moriarty? Like, well, like, what do you mean? Like media? Or like, are there other Moriartys? I mean like the, like Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes Moriarty. But if you're asking like which one's my favorite, I really loved a lot of what's that actor's name? The one that was in the Robert Downey Jr. sequel. That was a great version of a Moriarty. I think the one I prefer though is from shoot, what's his name? Jeremy. Is it Jeremy Brett? Yeah, Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes. I like that Moriarty a lot. I like all of that Sherlock Holmes a lot. I love the Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes. Love. That's my favorite one. Probably my favorite Moriarty, but I also really love that movie one from the Robert Downey Jr. sequel. What if a large number of gods were captured by the robots and now are being held captive, being sucked of their divine essence to help fuel the robots, but they're starting to run out of god juice? Hold on, let me process that. What if a large number of gods were captured by the robots and are now being held captive, being sucked of their divine essence to help fuel the robots, but they're starting to run out of god juice? Shrivel gods on the verge of oblivion. Yes, yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. A little bit of like Ab Sur, like we're dying, we have to pass the ring to someone else. In this case, magic power. We're going to put all of it into this world in the hopes that those of us who will live can possibly be restored to power once more. So it's almost like you're sacrificing yourself so that your brothers and sisters can live. Which media depiction is your inspiration? Jeremy Brett. If we're talking about like different plot points and different bosses can be tied to Moriarty, this even though they're doing their own thing. Like the Red-Headed League is a great example of these are guys doing their own thing, but they're still tied to Moriarty. They're basically like doing the books for Moriarty. Okay, love that the robots use everything, including the gods, as power. Yeah, they're just power hungry. They're literally they're just power hungry tyrants. They only care about self-preservation, and I think maybe even part of it is they've invested in themselves so much. They've put so much resources into increasing their power, increasing what they're capable of, that they're depleting their resources. Maybe it even started off as natural resources, right? Maybe they come from like a clockwork world, essentially, originally, but because they are naturally depleting their resources, they have to turn to the supernatural. I really like this. I really like this idea. I think we're gonna run with this. I think this is gonna be the first part. I think on off weeks where there's not streams and everything, I'm just gonna be typing up this document as clean as possible, making it like a full-fledged thing. Have it published to the Patreon, and then when we do stream and world build, we just continue in this document where we just kind of brainstorm, we throw spaghetti at the wall, we see what sticks. Sorry, I gotta go. Might be back on later, though I want to say I love think tanking a new world. Great idea. Thank you for sticking around, Kyle. I hope you have a great rest of your whatever time of day. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Like AI data centers, their desire to grow us outpacing their source of energy. Yes, yeah. Goes to like the locust type aliens in lots of media. Yeah. They're goal locked. They need that power to make more paper clips. Well, yeah, how else are they gonna thrive? They need their paper clips. Cool. Okay. I think this is a great start. I think this is a lot to begin typing up. Those of you who are on Patreon, sorry, Patreon has been a ghost town, but we're going to reinvest everything everyone who's continued to give monthly, we're going to reinvest into it. So we're going to make this more official looking world doc, this more official atlas, be part of Patreon. And the actual world building and everything we'll do on stream. We'll spaghetti at the wall, throw ideas, type it out on bullet points for everyone to see. The actual like tidied up, neat thing, like ready to use Patreon. But technically you still get access to it by being part of the live streams. And these aren't going to be privated, they're going to be public, so anyone can have access to this stream, take what you want, use what you want, all that kind of stuff. This is an awesome open concept while having plenty of very specific leverage points for story creation. I think so. Now that my brain's winding up, I think we really got to do this. I think we really got to see this one through and find some players to do a live stream every other week. 1 week playing, 1 week world building, 1 week playing, 1 week world building. We alternate the weeks. Great storm of brains, everyone. Exactly. Great storm of brains. This was a fun stream. I'm super excited. I want to play this game. I want to play in this world. I want to see people do things with this world. We can always run a robot session for your RPGs versus AD Alzheimer's fundraisers. Hey, there you go. There's a fun idea. Awesome. All right, so let's do a quick little poll, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. Do we playable? All right, so this question, both can still happen, but this question is mainly to ask, which do you want to see be the primary goal first? Both are going to happen, I think, but which one do you want this to be the priority for? Do you want this to be actual play? All right, so vote for the one that you want to see happen first. The poll is going live now. I want to know, do you guys want to see this continue first as a campaign setting, and then if people are still interested, we do it as an actual play? Or do you guys want to see this be built into an actual play, in which case the players' choices, decisions, and everything help build the world, and maybe that affects the campaign setting? What do you guys want to see? Ooh, right now it's 50-50 with 2 votes. Cast your votes, people. Cast your votes. Do we make this a campaign setting first? Or do we make this an actual play setting and then use that to inform a campaign setting? Ooh, we're at 3 votes. Campaign setting is in the lead, 67%. Ooh, we're back to 50-50. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Any other votes? We'll give it 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds to vote. we may also need to make this just a poll in the Discord server. Oh, we're at 5 votes. DC-20 actual play, 60%. Campaign setting, 40%. Do 15 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ending the poll. YouTube voted 60% actual play, 40% campaign setting. Very good to know. I think we're going to run this in the Discord server, see what Discord people say. But YouTube, tribe has spoken. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, being nerdy with me for a little bit. This is fun, combining several different passions. We somehow managed to start a campaign setting that has Star Trek, Transformers, DC Comics, X-Men, Blade Runner. It sounds like a little bit. A lot of great things going into this world. I'm excited to see what we turn this thing into. Again, I'm going to be typing this up to be a little bit more official. We're going to kind of get chapters little by little with each stream published. So if you want the neat version of all of this, that'll be available on Patreon soon. If you're fine with just watching and taking notes from the YouTube version for your own home games, that works too. But everyone, see you on Coach's stream tomorrow. I will unfortunately be at work. By the time I get home, the stream will already be over. Unless I somehow get off work early. But you guys have a great rest of your night. Adios.